Hey everyone, I finished watching the next episode of Power Rangers Time Force Blue Streak. This one is, it's okay. This is, let's see, probably the most, like, average feeling Time Force episode. I remember being a kid and watching it, and I liked it fine. And I remember, let's see, when I got the DVDs and I was rewatching it again, from start to finish for the first time, it was a fine episode, but it kind of got buried under all the other episodes, which were so remarkable and like Time Force is my favorite season, so let's see what's the next episode that we got. A Parting of Ways. Let's see. I don't know that one off the top of my head, but yes, it's sandwiched between a lot of really good episodes, and it's just completely overshadowed. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It's a really good episode. If this was an episode of I don't know the series now, I'd be really surprised at how good it is, and also how well it holds together. And there's not a million plot holes because they have way too many characters. There are some issues with this, but they're not that bad. There's some cheesy stuff to it, but again, it's like I don't know. I feel like Power Rangers was able to do cheesy stuff better then than they do now. Now it always feels like way over the top. Anyway, synopsis: the Rangers are cleaning up the front of the Odd Job shop. Wes drives up in this really new, fancy-looking car. Lucas comes over. He's like, "Wow, this is a cool car." He jumps in, and then Wes jumps in. He's like, "Hey, you want to give it? You want to try driving it?" And Lucas is like, "Sure." And then he starts putting these gloves on. What are those? Racing gloves. And then Wes is like, "Racing gloves," and then boom, and then the opening credits start, and then the episode comes back, and looking at it now, there's a lot to think about. Lucas, let's see, he's from the future, and apparently in the future, I don't know if traffic laws are different, although possibly maybe he just doesn't, so he doesn't know, or possibly he doesn't care about the laws in 2001. Yeah, he's really reckless here. This is, yeah, he goes Neo Saban brained for a while, but anyway, he gets pulled over, and let's see, oh yeah, the cop asks him for his license. So he gives him like his license from the year 3000. It's his what is it called? Oh, hmm, racing certification. Okay, anyway, he gives him his racing certification. The guy looks at it, and a little hologram of Lucas pops up, and the guy just goes, "Hmm, it are holograms like common in 2001 in the Power Rangers universe?" Like I know, you know, uh, like I know technology is sometimes weird in Power Rangers, like especially at this time it was trying to be set more in reality, but then there's things like that where it makes me wonder like so how far advanced is their technology compared to like in reality? And I remember back in Zeo they had was it Invasion of the Puppet Blaster or something? There was this guy with this big puppet thing, and it's like it's supposed to be a robot. It is a crazy advanced robot for 1997 or whenever it was supposed to be set. And it made me think about in Ninja Steel there's all this weird technology like was it crap, what was the Pink Ranger's name? Sarah? I don't remember now. I haven't watched Ninja Steel in a while. She had a hoverboard which actually hovered. Let's see, Redbot is treated like not that weird. Like, oh hey, it's a hyper advanced robot that can walk around. Nothing weird there. So I don't know. Maybe technology is farther ahead in Power Rangers than it is in reality. So a hologram isn't that weird. And it got me thinking about like this is a long tangent, but anyway, back in Mighty Morphin, Blue Ranger Gone Bad, Billy did actually make a hologram. You could move it around, and it even makes noise. So I don't know. Maybe he made a living making these. He came back from Aquitar to sell holograms. Hmm. So let's see. Blah, 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 blah. The guy writes Lucas a ticket, and I. Oh yeah, what was it? Oh yeah, he. Oh, where was I in here? Oh yeah, there it is. He writes him a ticket for speeding and a ton of other offenses, and I don't know what's on the ticket. I'm guessing he got off pretty light considering. Um, or maybe Wes just happened to have a lot of money. He is a rich kid after all. So then, let's see. Da-da-da-da. Oh yeah, we cut to Rancic and his crew. They're coming up with their next evil plan. Oh, and this is a weird thing. This is a weird running thing in this episode. Nadira is fanning herself with money, and I paused it, and it looks like $100 bills with Ben Franklin, but they're like really blurry dollar bills, and whenever you get a glance of the back of them, they look really faded, like almost blank. So are these counterfeit bills? Like, I know in reality it's prop money that they're using. They're probably not handling actual like hundreds and hundreds of dollars there. But yeah, it's weird how like strange the prop money looks, and it'll get even weirder later on. So yeah, Nadira comes up with the idea to go around and try and steal money. So they want to revive a monster that can help them get all the cash, and so they revive a car thief monster. All right, I guess being able to steal cars, he can make quick getaways. That does fit the rest of the episode, so I guess good on them. So then, back at the clock tower, Wes is helping Lucas learn traffic signs, which made me think, wow, I guess so driving must not be very commonplace in the future then. Because, like, he points to a stop sign, and Lucas is like, a stop sign is the most, like, basic thing. Also, like, earlier, since he just got in the car and started racing, like, just around town, it makes me think that roads are still a thing in the future, but they're just not ever used. Or possibly, if someone has a car, then like it's assumed that it's for racing because cars aren't used in the future for anything else. Maybe like I don't know. In the couple of like scenes we get of the year 3000 in Time Force, we see a bunch of little things flying around. So I'm guessing flying cars are probably a big deal. We also see a lot of people walking. So, yeah, I guess cars are phased out by the year 3000. So then, let's see. Oh, yeah, we get back to Nadira and then the mutant that she has. I don't remember what the mutant's name was, or if it even had a name. Anyway, it does this really weird thing. It shoots a tentacle out, and then it, like, zaps a car, and it changes the makeup of the car and starts it up. It's very weird. Whatever. So anyway, they jump in the car and they head off wherever. And then meanwhile, Wes takes Lucas to a driving test. And this is a really weird thing. They're lined up outside a building. Oh, and they all have these like little booklets, and they look like actual like DMV like driving instruction booklets. So anyway, everyone's waiting outside, and I thought they were like waiting in line to go in. Wes and Lucas are like at the end, but then this guy comes up and he's like, "You ready to take your road test?" And Lucas goes in. So they skipped the written part of the test, I guess. Anyway, the guy that Lucas gets in the car with, his instructor, he reminds me a lot of Percy from VR Troopers. He's got that like classic dork appearance. He's got like the thick round glasses. He has a bow tie. Did he have suspenders? I don't remember. And he talks in like a dorky way, and he's very very excitable. Like Lucas barely starts the car, and the guy yells, "Wait, where's the fire?" And yeah, it's very goofy, and I get the feeling they probably would have gone way farther with him had he been a character in a current season. So then, so yeah, he goes on his driving test, and then Nadira and the mutant are attacking a money transport truck. Lucas sees and he chases them with the instructor still in the car who's going, ah! And there's this one funny shot where the car's driving this way and you see the guy's arm just flapping out the window. I'm wondering, like, like what that must have been like to film like who it is in the car and like their direction. Like, okay, now just wave your arm out the car, and then let's see. Oh yeah, Lucas loses him. So then I guess he abandons his driving test. Him and Wes go back to the clock tower, and Trip shows them the vector cycles. He opens a suitcase. They have a bunch of little miniature cycles, and then they grow them to human rideable size. Okay. So then anyway, they take the vector cycles. They catch up with Nadira, and oh yeah, Nadira has just gotten done robbing somewhere. And this is the really weird dollar bill I saw her holding. I paused it so I could get a look at it. It's $100 bill, but the guy on it is definitely not Ben Franklin. It's a skinny guy with like a black suit, receding hair, a big black beard. I had no idea who that was. And so I was thinking back to like history class because I know we learned about different types of currency and currency that's like not in use anymore. And I remembered during the Civil War, the Confederate States of America tried to make their own currency, and I vaguely remembered their currency having Robert E. Lee on it. So I thought, is that what she's holding? So then I looked it up, but no, the Confederate currency with Robert E. Lee, I don't even think it was a $100 bill. I think it was like $5, and he was it was way older Robert E. Lee, like heavy white beard. Um, yeah, definitely not the guy in the episode on the dollar that she's holding. And I tried looking up like currency not in use anymore, but I couldn't find anybody who looked like this guy on the dollar. So all I can guess is in this episode, she just robbed a toy store and stole play money, which would actually be kind of a funny idea because, like, yeah, they don't know the difference between real money and play money, I'm assuming. Although, more realistically, it's probably prop money from some movie or something. Like, in Back to the Future 2, wasn't there a thing where they looked at, like, money and it had somebody else, like, a different president's picture on it or something? Maybe that's where it came from. Who knows? I looked on Ranger Wiki, but they don't have any information about it. I'd really like to know where the prop money in this episode came from and, like, why it has whoever this beardy guy on it is. So anyway, the Rangers show up, and let's see. Oh yeah, the Rangers are all on the Vector cycles. Nadira and the mutant and the Cyclobots are in the cars, and there's this big chase. They're shooting at each other, and it reminds me a lot of Mad Max. It reminds me a lot of the first Mad Max specifically because of like how sterile the environment is. Like they're on a very clean road. The sides are like just all green. Everything's like in order. It's not like in like Road Warrior or Beyond Thunderdome where it's all a desert. Things are like makeshift and things are dirty and falling apart and like barely holding together. It looks very much like the first movie, which is, and this whole thing is interesting because later on they would do a way more blatant homage to Road Warrior specifically, and so yeah, that's just a cool thing. Kind of wish we could still do like cool weird stuff like that. So anyway, they take out the vehicles and then they fight the mutant on foot with the Cyclobots. Oh, and then we do get to see the mutant throws some bolts in the air and they turn into the Cyclobots. I don't remember like that outside of the very first episode when Nadira throws the bolts in the air and they turn into Cyclobots. I don't know. I guess maybe they don't use it that often after this because they've used it a few times so far, and I was like, oh, okay, so I guess they do keep using it. I didn't remember. Anyway, they're fighting the mutant. They defeat the mutant. The mutant grows big. They get their Megazord. It takes its first form, gets its butt kicked. They go immediately to mode red, and I wonder why did they even bother with the first mode for the Megazord anyway? It's in every episode. They get the Megazord and then immediately go to mode red, and I don't get why. It looks better in mode red. Why is there a first form for the Megazord at all, especially since they don't even use it? Whatever. Anyway, they defeat the monster, they put him in the cryostasis thing, and then afterwards, Lucas goes back to retake his road test. The instructor, or the instructor from before, has a neck brace on and a bunch of casts, and he's like, shaking as he hands, I don't know, a certification to somebody. Remember, a careful driver is a happy driver. And then Lucas shows up. Hi, I'm here to retake the test again. And then he runs away, and Lucas is like, oh. It's a goofy little way to end it. So yeah, fun episode, and yeah, not a whole lot to say. I talked about most of what I wanted to talk about in the synopsis, and at the beginning of the video. It's a good episode. It's not really one of the stronger episodes. It's an enjoyable one. I like it. Like if this was like filler, like the type of filler we get now, then I'd be really happy because I just finished watching Orange Ranger videos. Reviews of Dino Fury, the first 20 episodes. I like Dino Fury, but man, if I wasn't already a Power Ranger fan, I don't think I would watch Dino Fury because it's not the best. There's a lot of issues with it, and a big problem is like just meandering. Each episode is pretty much self-contained, but then also there's a bunch of padding. There's a ton of like logical inconsistencies and times where I'm wondering like why don't they just do this? And then like the answer is like we should have done this, and it was the really obvious thing that they should have done. Or then there's like weird things that I don't get. How in the world did you get from here to there? Anyway, Blue Streak, good episode. I liked it. Um, that's all I have for this one. See ya.